What up? How's it going, people? What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going? Am I coming through okay?
Yep,
Awesome.
great to have you here.
Yeah, good to see you. I think since the render, right?
Yeah, New York.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You swung by New York too.
Yeah, render happened, then New York happened, a bunch of interesting stuff happened. I'm gonna move you here, and I have to do Elixir plus Phoenix for your entertainment. Fun tweet.
Oh man.
Let me retweet that. Send another tweet.
I have like 2 followers, but I'll retweet it
We
too.
are live now. Retweets still help with the engagement. So even if you have no followers, and you have quite a bit of followers,
I don't have that many followers.
have a decent bit. What's up, Tivar? How's it going? That's the tweet. Go and engage. Go and bring people here. Bring people. Cater Vader, thanks for the follow. I don't have alerts on this, I guess. It should be fine. You know what? Let me just share my screen. Entire screen. Oh, it's going to share the entire ultra wide thing. I don't want that. Can you not just share a part of my screen? All right, StreamYard. StreamYard sucks.
Copying you. Doing that's the Twitter handle.
Let's see what happens if I do this. It's ultra wide, so kind of looks weird.
I have an ultra wide, so for me it's okay. But I
I'll
don't know how
just
many
have
of
to
your
zoom in a
viewers do.
bunch. Let me then switch to this so I can have stuff side by side. You know what? We'll roll with that. Let's see how that goes. First time for everything. Okay, so I'm in Linux. Oops. I'm in Linux and Zish.
Clear.
I.
Gonna yell.
All right, that.
Whenever you
that
type
cut.
something in all caps, I'm just gonna restream it back to you.
All right, all right. Where did ASDF go?
It
Where
usually
did
goes
I
into .asdf if you follow
dot ASDF? Okay.
in your home directory.
Oh, true. Dot. Okay, so I have it there. Install. I guess I'm doing this. What does dot do? That's a new one.
It like sources it. You want to add it to your bash RC in case you start up a new terminal, though, or
Yeah.
ZSHRC or whichever one you're doing.
Yeah, I'm using ZSH.
There's specific
We'll go in
instructions for
here.
ZSH. These are the bash
Oh.
instructions.
ZSH and git. There we go. Add the following to ZSHRC.
If you have Oh My Zish, you could also just add the plugin. So yeah, stop.
Oh, there's a plugin.
Yeah, scroll up. Yeah, just put a ASDF in right in there. It should just work.
Oops, ASDF. That's a fun name. Whoever came up with that name.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, but it kind of rolls off the tongue. It really rolls off the keyboard though.
Definitely rolls on the keyboard.
Not unless you're like a non-QWERTY user.
So I don't need to do any of this then?
Resource your
right. I'll just do this.
And then now you should try ASDF plugin add Erlang.
Nice. Plugin add Erlang.
Yeah.
We're installing Erlang from scratch and compiling from scratch because that's what ASDF does.
Go to that link that I sent you in the chat.
By the way, you can now just send stuff in comments. Put yourself below. Did like that?
Oh.
Why? Okay, sure. Did you just pronounce Zish? Yeah, I said Zish. Is that not what people say?
So way at the bottom, there's Debian. You'll be doing Debian
Oh,
section.
okay.
Yeah, way at the
Here,
bottom. Way at the bottom. Just,
we're at the
just,
bottom right here.
yeah. If you want to install all of the above, yeah, just do all of that.
All of the above.
Yeah.
What?
That is for. You probably don't need that.
Oh no. That's fine. Wait, what? Couldn't. Oh, do I need to sudo it?
Um,
Alright.
yeah,
So
the
we have some time.
Erlang is kind of the hard part of this. The Elixir is a precompiled binary for an ASDF, so it goes really fast. But you want to get
Got
a
it.
head start on Erlang, and then we could chat for a
Mm-hmm.
bit, and then maybe by the time the stream's over, it'll be done.
Yeah, that's true. Compiling. Oh, of course, that's taking the longest.
This
to
isn't even.
install.
These are just the dependencies. This isn't even the thing.
Yeah, I know. But like it stuck at JDK for like a couple seconds while everything else is just breezing through.
Yeah.
All right, so while that's happening, we can chat a bit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream. We are doing Elixir and Phoenix today, and that saying the word Elixir, I have to be careful because. Give me a second. Alexa, stop.
Oh.
So I think that's what happened when I said the. I have to disable the her. I think.
Yeah,
Point.
that's funny.
Wait, give me 1 second. I just need to like disconnect my Bluetooth. I'll switch to this real quick so that I can move my phone and not give people whiplash. All right. And now it looks like my headphone just completely disconnected from my PC. We're back. I cannot hear anything though. Still.
You can't hear me?
Give me a second.
Oh no. I'm kind of.
Why am I not hearing anything? Can I?
Hello.
All right, so this is done. I still cannot hear anything though.
Oh,
Give me 1 second. Let me connect my headphones first. That's more important.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Can you say something?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, I can hear you now. What microphone is it using? Is it using my correct microphone? Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, so this is done.
And then here's like the ASDF thing is to do. You could type in your terminal ASDF list-all Erlang, and this will give you a list of all the versions. Sorry, one word, list-all.
Oh, list-all. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
And I have to specify Erlang.
Yeah, so we'll want to install the latest one, 2602.
Okay.
And that's just AFT and
plugin add or
no, install Erlang.
Okay.
26.0.2. Yeah.
With a space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. This will take some time.
All right.
It used to be really bad on my M1, especially. Do you have like an x86, right?
64. This is an i7.
Oh, x64, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. It'd probably go faster than.
All right. So let's switch to this for a bit.
Yeah. Cool.
While that's happening. All right. So yeah, we're doing Elixir and Erlang, or Elixir and Phoenix. My headphone still gets triggered. I don't know. I really like having her in my headphone, but then whenever I have to say words like Elixir, I don't want and that happen again. Okay. I guess I'll have to deal with it for the stream. But yeah, what's so special about this language? Why am I learning this today?
Yeah, so I mean, Elixir, it's It's a functional language, but it's also like not so functional like Haskell or some flavors of Scala where like you feel like constricted by how functional it is. It still gives you quite a bit of freedom as far as doing things with side effects.
Okay.
The pipeline operator, I think, is one of the things that most people fall in love with very quickly, just as a way of chaining
Yeah.
functionality.
Oh yeah.
And then the actor
Hmm.
model and the parallelism and concurrency, which is just baked right into the Erlang virtual machine. So Elixir, kind of as a what it is it's it's its own language. But it's also like
Hmm.
a nicer way of interfacing with the Erlang virtual machine. Something like
Okay.
Scala to Java, right? Java's
Right.
the
Yeah.
old crusty language. Scala or Kotlin
Hmm.
or Clojure, they
Ruby.
all work off of the JVM the same way that
Hmm.
Elixir compiles to the Erlang virtual machine.
Got it. Okay.
So a lot of what makes Elixir really special is Erlang.
So is Erlang also a like super functional language? Well, what's the difference between Erlang and Elixir, the language?
There's a lot of syntactical differences.
Okay.
I haven't written too much pure Erlang to like really give you a comprehensive answer on that.
Okay.
But syntactically, they're quite different. But the way that you write them is kind of the same. You have modules that take arguments, and
Hmm.
um, you know. So and what I mean by that is like compared to say Ruby or like some other object-oriented languages, Java, where you have like classes and instances and the dot syntax to call methods. In Erlang and Elixir, everything is modules, and then you pass in arguments to them.
Got it.
There's not classes and instances and instances of classes. Um,
Got it. And I completely forgot to do this in the beginning. Um, give an introduction.
oh
Who are
yeah.
you? What do you do? How long have you been doing Elixir or the
Uh,
software?
so I'm Joseph at Jetpack Joe everywhere. I need the underscore on Twitter because I guess I was too late to the Twitter game.
Yeah.
I am a consultant right now with Test Double, which is generally a Rails and Ruby consultancy. I do Elixir and TypeScript there. Right now I'm on an Elixir project. I've been doing Elixir kind of as a hobbyist since 2017, and then my first
Nice.
full-time Elixir job was in 2019 in January, and since then I've been doing, except for a brief stint when I did some Scala,
Hmm.
I've done Elixir or TypeScript, but mostly Elixir for my day job. So
Okay.
going on about 4 years now.
Nice.
How's the
So
Erlang compile doing?
it has been successfully built. I just received
Oh,
that.
you're
Oh,
doing
there
the
we go.
docs. It's doing the docs now.
Yeah.
I just want to
Um,
keep an eye at it.
how do I put it back in? This one. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Um,
So yeah,
Tivar was asking how much Erlang you should learn before Elixir, and I would say you don't need to learn Erlang at
none.
all. Yeah.
Right. It's like asking how
You
much Java should you learn before Scala.
exactly.
Right.
It's a different language.
Hmm.
Different. You don't need to learn any Erlang, unless like so there is like a standard library stuff which we might dive into. Um, you might want to learn like how to read the Erlang documentation and where to find stuff like that. Because like Java, Scala, Kotlin, right? You could call any functions from Erlang, modules in Erlang, you could call them from Elixir. And that does happen, uh, pretty often.
So what do I do next? Install
Okay,
Elixir.
so yeah. So let's do Elixir. So same way we do ASDF plugin add Elixir. You could list
Oh,
all the. You could list.
is it not called Elixir?
Plugin add first.
Okay. ASDF plugin add Elixir,
Yeah.
and then I can do this. Okay.
Yeah. So I would grab the last numbered one, 1.25-OTP 26. No, 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 sorry.
1.25.
Right above main, the one right
This
above where
one.
it's.
Oh,
No,
this.
no, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The OTP 26 refers to the Erlang major version. If you were to do just 1.15.2, it would work.
Okay.
But if you have multiple versions of Erlang installed, it's nice to specify which one.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm assuming the OTP is not a one-time password.
No, that stands for Open Telephony Protocol, which is a
I
very
thought it was
Erlang.
telecom protocol.
It might be telecom. Open tele something.
Okay.
I think it's telephony. Telephony. And if you see something whacking on my screen, this cat.
Nice.
She's here.
Ooh, cute cat.
Yes. She gets really annoying when she walks across my keyboard whenever I get on calls, and it's always when I get on a call she decides to
Of
do
course,
it.
yeah. Yep, my cat does that too. They're figured out.
Yeah. So that's a lot of where like the actor model stuff comes in,
Right.
which we could get into. It's also kind of, as you can see from the usage here in the version, it kind of also just means Erlang. It could also mean like a part of the standard library of Erlang. They kind of become interchangeable. So this is an ASDF thing.
Okay.
What you want to do is you want to now do ASDF global Erlang 26.0.2. And then the same thing for Elixir and the Elixir version. And this is just
the version. Okay.
Yeah, and this is just telling ASDF that you're gonna want to use this version. If you had a certain project, it basically navigates up the tree, so it finds. If you want a cat.tool version, you can do it.
Your audio is cutting up a bit.
Sorry, if you want a cat.tool versions.
Cat.tool. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So this is what the plugin add. What the global command.
This might be from apt-get. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, that's an old version. Yeah.
Remove Elixir, and it should keep the ASDF version, right?
Yeah, assuming the
there we go.
path
Yep.
is set up right, perfect.
Okay. So
and
we are
compiled
on
with Elixir 26.
This was compiled with the correct version, but the Elixir version was out of date. Yeah, I saw a forum post saying that when will the Ubuntu get the repo packages get updated, and then someone was like, "Yeah, don't worry about that. Just use ASDF." And I'm like, "Come on."
I use ASDF for everything. I use it for Node now too.
Got it.
I just use it for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I also have NVM installed, but it's like, if I'm just doing it for one stream, do I really need to have a version manager? But then, yeah, might as well.
But it does everything. Like, that's what's cool about it. NVM just does one thing. I don't know.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought it was Elixir specific or
No. I use it for Node. I use it for Ruby. I use it for Python. I've used it for. If I need to install a language, like the first thing I do is I see if ASDF does it.
Okay. Not bad.
And then I look at the official how to install if it doesn't.
Nice. All right. So we have Elixir. We have Mix.
Yep.
Okay. I really need to remember to not say that word too many times. It's very annoying. I had the Phoenix.
Oh, someone's crying in Nix in the chat.
Cries in Nix.
I want to learn Nix. It's just like ASDF is so easy, and Nix is so complex that it's just not worth my,
So this is what I need to run. Install Hex.
Yeah, Hex is the package manager. Mix is the build. Mix is the build tool, and then Phoenix New is going to be your, the create CLI.
Yep. We thought we had too many tools in JavaScript. I have running on Railway.
We could. Okay,
Nothing
you have
else to install
Postgres.
here.
That's
Yeah,
fine. Okay. SQLite is also. We could also switch to that if that's.
could just use
Um,
SQLite. Yeah,
Railway
honestly.
is fine too. We could deploy it to Railway. Too if
Okay,
you wanna.
not bad.
Let's
Yeah,
just
let's
yeah.
deploy it.
Um. So do you want to do Elixir first, or do you want to just dive right into Phoenix and like learn Elixir on the way?
Um, yeah, let's just dive into Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think I like. I'll
You.
see if I can get a hang of Elixir on the way. If not, then we can
It's
spend some
a
time on Elixir.
Yeah, it's a simple language. I'm here to help out, like figuring out. I know what's in the standard library for the most part,
Cool.
and where to point you for stuff. You said that you had a
All right.
project that you wanted to do, or like a little.
Yeah, at the basic, it's like the very basic idea is just like there is a form where you input some values and it does some calculation and shows the results. That's basically it. And
Okay.
on top of that, we can add whatever UI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to just make a Phoenix app with
With this.
mix Phoenix new, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Mix phoenix.new
You missed
and
you missed the X. Yeah.
phx.new. Okay. Phoenix.new. Let's just call it judgment.
Oh.
All right. Lots of dependencies. Does this also does this use Node or like any JavaScript tooling?
It has
It does,
ES
right?
build.
Okay.
It's ES build.
Okay. Cool.
But no, you don't need Node as such. It uses the ES build binary directly, and
Got it.
the tooling downloads and downloads it and runs it for you. You might see that pop up um, when you start the dev server for the first time.
All right. Just making sure the music is a little switching and not getting boring. All right. So we are in here. Let's see what do we have. There is a configure database with Ecto. Start the app and run the app inside interactive Elixir. Nice.
Yeah, IEX is really cool. It's something maybe Node has it. I haven't really figured it out. I
It's
think
just
the
a
first
node.
thing
Yeah.
Ecto, unless you have Postgres running locally,
Hmm.
we'll have to do something to get the to get your to get hooked up to the railway. What am I talking about here? There we go.
Right. So do I
So
I
hop
do this?
into no, that's not gonna. Yeah, let's set the database URL real quick. So you want to hop
Okay.
into config/dev.exs.
All right. Let's open this up in VS Code and see what we are getting.
Oh sure.
My PC does not like me right now. All right.
Oh,
Config.exs. I hope
let's
VS
it.
Code. There we go.
Uh, yeah. Search for EXS files. You want to install Elixir _ ls or -ls. Yeah, that one.
This
Yeah,
one.
this is the one you want to do.
Is there an Elixir specific IDE that some people use?
VS Code I think is like the most common.
Okay.
It's a language server, so it'll work with NeoVim.
Right.
I know there's a lot of work on an IntelliJ plugin. I don't really use that though, but
Nice.
it's apparently pretty good.
Is it
So you want to look for repo.
repo?
Yeah. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, where?
There's
No,
only
you're in
two.
config.exs. Go to the dev.
Oh, okay.
I'm moving my mouse around as if you could see it, but I know you can't.
I mean, we can do live share.
No,
If
no,
you
no,
want
no,
my
no.
PC to hate me even more.
No, that's fine. So scroll up just a smidge when you have all of this. Yeah, this repo stuff
This one,
here.
okay.
I think you could replace this with just database _ URL, and get rid of.
And put it environment file.
And yeah, you could put it. Now you want to do environment variables. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do. So to read environment variables, we need to install something. It doesn't do it.
Oh,
It doesn't do it natively.
okay. It looks
Dot
like
m.
I need. Why are there 500 files in here?
You're looking in your depths, or
It's is it not supposed to? Am I supposed to git ignore assets or not?
no. There. So when you create the new app, hero icons are vendored in,
Okay.
and so those are all hero icons. I think. Yeah, these are all just hero
Yeah.
icons.
Okay.
If it's
So let
we
me
could probably
just.
do an initial commit here, and
Yeah, that's what I was going
yes.
to.
I always forget to
All
do
right.
that whenever I'm starting off, and then I get into some dirty state, and it's like I can't revert. There's nothing to revert to.
Yeah. Yeah, I just randomly remembered it, so good thing I did.
um.
Okay, so I'm not reading environment variables. I can just plug them in here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. If you want to play it fast and loose, we could just do that.
Let me do it slightly off screen. I guess we're not deploying, or at least not pushing to Git anytime soon. Then database
Do you want to just do it
URL.
as an environment variable? It's not. It's not going to take that long, and we could go over how to install dependencies too.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Let's just do it.
All
So
right.
the dependency we're going to use is called .env_parser.
So I'm
So
using mix or
yeah.
hex.
No, you have to just head over on the file explorer towards the bottom. You see mix.exs.
Mix.exs.
Yeah, so we'll just add it to the bottom of our depths. Let me look up what the latest version is, or I could just tell you how to look it up. If you want to search in hex.pm is the website.
.pm, nice.
And
I
then
put a comma.
search for .env_parser. Sorry, .env spelled out. DOT.
Oh, .env.
_parser. Yeah. So click on that one that's exact match.
This one.
Yeah, and it looks like it's 2.0.
It's the same. Yeah.
It's 2.0, but if you look on the right, you could copy the mix.exs config and just paste that right in.
Cool.
And add a comma to the line before it.
Oh.
And then
what is this? Is this just an
so
Elixir
this is a mix?
file?
Yeah, this is basically equivalent to package.json.
Yeah, but it's an Elixir file and not
it's it's an Elixir file.
Okay.
And so you could do code in it.
Nice.
So the project is kind of like where things are defined. Mix knows to like look here to like get the details.
Right.
You could see just certain things are defined. Lots of aliases are predefined for you. Yeah, you can see Tailwind's built in now.
All right, so I can create an env file now. Do I have to point it to it, or does it automatically knows to pick it up?
No, you'll have to pick it up. So before we do that, let's just finish the setup.
Okay.
So in your terminal, you could run mix deps.get to install the .env.
Deps.get.
Yep. Okay. And then in your dev.exs config file, I think we need to here on that left tab, go to the online documentation. Yeah, I don't remember the exact.
Do people not usually use like environment variables or?
Not in dev mode. It's a lot of like running the database locally. And if you do,
That's
you just
fair.
do this. Yeah, so basically grab this line right there. You don't need to import config because that's already done for you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, just grab that. And now your environment variables loaded.
File.env.
And that if statement is just for, in prod, normally for most platform as a service, the environment variable is already baked in. You don't need to read from You don't need to read from it.
Right. in here I can say db URL equals something,
Yep.
and in
And then
here, can I just
here,
pass a URL?
the exact incantation. So head over to runtime.exs, because this will show us the incantation. This runs it. This is what runs at runtime, and it looks
Got
like
it.
it's just URL on line 35.
On line 35. Okay.
This is like the runtime configuration.
Okay. So here I say URL is
This,
system.fetchenv this.
yep. And then you could delete all the lines above it,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're redundant now.
Cool.
I'm like pretty sure this will work for sure.
All right. Do we okay? We need to specify this because this can be not defined, or it can return
So the exclamation
empty.
point means that it'll raise if it's not there.
Okay, it's the opposite. Got it. I guess yeah. This runtime type checking.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. I wish we had
So
that.
in Elixir, the convention is to use bang if something could raise, or
Mm-hmm.
and then not bang if it's going to return a nil, or if it doesn't have to raise.
Got it. All right. env is set up, and this should be fine now. What next? Can we start running it now?
Yeah. So mix phoenix.server should get it going.
Server. Let's see.
Looks like you missed a
Stack
comma.
trace.
Yeah. I'll do it.
No squiggly lines.
That's actually. I wonder why you don't have squiggly lines.
I might need some other extensions for that.
Module
Let's see if it
.env
even.
parser is not
Okay.
available. Oh! Did you have to? Wait, you
Installed
did
it.
mix deps.get, right?
I did.
Module.env parser is not available.
The first time I did it, it worked.
Wait. This is going to be something like really stupid.
As usual.
Head over to the documentation. Was there an
Is it looking for env file in this folder? Maybe.
Oh no! It should be looking in the root directory. It's not saying that. It's saying that the module is not available.
True. Yeah.
Which is kind of weird since you just did mixsteps.get and installed it. Can you?
So does it by default? It can use a SQLite database, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
have a
yeah.
local
Yeah.
SQLite database. Let's just do that. Don't want to
Okay.
spend too much time here.
That's fair. So we'll want
Do
to
I
change.
just do like db.sqlite?
Yeah. And then in the, I'm not actually sure where it's Postgres as the adapter.
Let's maybe in here.
You could generate a project with.
Do I need the mix? Oh, well, never mind.
Search.
I don't think I ran this.
No, you didn't run that, but that what that does is it creates the database at the URL.
Okay.
Why did the .env parser?
That's fine. We don't have to use it. Let's see. Still not defined, even though I'm not using it anymore.
You didn't save the file.
Oh.
So I wonder if that was what was causing the earlier issue too.
Probably, yeah.
Did you save the mix file?
I just saved it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but now if I
switch it back to the system dot. Yeah.
Hmm.
Module.env parser is not available.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's stick to that. Let's do a necto.create. Does it automatically create SQLite for me? It
Uh,
does not. Okay.
I think if we want to use SQLite, and we're
Mhm.
so early, I would just say recreate the project and pass in the
Oh, okay.
SQLite.
X new or was it create?
Phoenix.new, phx.new.
Oh, phx.new judgment new. Let's call it that.
And
And do I need to pass in something?
yeah, I think it's data dash dash database. I think
Database.
SQLite.
Can we check that in here?
Yeah, search for SQLite here.
SQLite. Wow.
Search for here. If you type in your terminal, mix help phoenix.new, it'll give you all the command line options. So it's
There we
SQLite
go.
3. SQLite
Yeah.
3 is what it is.
Mix phoenix.new and / data or -- database. I don't have to do equals, right?
No.
Okay. SQLite 3. There we go.
We're
I
trying
can
to,
install dependencies, and this should be relatively quick.
yeah, this is.
All right, we'll stick to SQLite. That's not a problem. All right, so Phoenix. What is the how do you write your UI in there? Like, do you write HTML files? Is there like a templating language, templating
Yeah, there
syntax?
is. It's called Heeks.
Heeks.
So
How do
Heeks
you
is
spell it?
HEEX. So it's
Oh,
HTML embedded Elixir. Um, most of that documentation is going to be under the Phoenix Live View
oh,
package. So I think the way to do it is to create a scaffold, and then I could kind of walk you through the files that it creates.
oh, there's a scaffold.
Yeah, so like I know you
Okay.
did Redwood last week. You know how Redwood you
Mm-hmm.
could basically scaffold an
Yeah.
entire endpoint. Phoenix has that. It's just like Rails as well. And
All right. So this is our new one. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, there's a SQLite in here, and config dev. Okay, so it's a .db instead, and there's some path joining going on. Yeah, so it's a /.
there you go.
And joining it with where something. Okay, that's fine. This looks much better. Let me initialize. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Commit. Yeah, good idea. I told you I always forget.
I usually also forget sometimes.
Luckily, if you're early enough and you forget, it's not too bad to just
Yeah.
redo it. So you want to scaffold something?
Let's start running it actually.
Sure.
So mix phoenix.server. That's it, right?
Yeah. You probably looks like this is a iTools thing for a Linux. I think you could. This is basically for file watching for like live
Okay.
updating. If you want to just refresh every time, you can do that. Otherwise, you can install iTools Verify. I think that's an apt.
Let's see if it becomes annoying. There we go. We have launch or
There
we
you
have
go.
touchdown. Something. We have something, and this looks pretty nice. Rich interactive web applications quickly, blah blah blah. Guides and docs, source code of Phoenix, okay. Change log. Cool. Where is this page? Can I
Yeah, so
find
I
it?
can walk you through how this is working. I think
Okay.
that's probably a good introduction. So if you look at there's a file called
Cool. There we go.
router.exs. Oh, router.ex, I mean.
Okay. Router
It's going to be in,
router.ex.
yeah, web, I think, yeah. So this is like the entry point, I guess, if you want to say. It's going to, when you enter a URL, it's going to come here and it's going to try to match with whatever, it could find. You have these pipelines, which middleware, I think is probably the best way to explain it to a Next.js dev.
Okay.
So, and you could also write your own. They're just functions that take a con and return a con. So rather than a request and response like you would have in JavaScript, everything is just in one construct in Elixir. So if you scroll down, you'll eventually see the page controller. Oh, sorry, on line 10 is where this get. Sorry, 20. I don't know what I was saying.
20. Okay.
That get/page
Got
controller goes to line 17, judgment new web dot page controller, and then the function is home. So there's a little bit of magic happening here as far as like.
Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah. So actually, why don't you just find page controller?
Page controller. Oh,
yeah,
no control clicking. Okay.
That in the router, it's kind of broken because of that magic, but everywhere else it should work.
Okay, so that's the page controller. It has a home definition, and that's being called here, or that's being bound here.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so it's going to render the home layout. This is on line 7, without the home template, without a layout. Is basically what it's saying. To do
okay.
Here. And so that happens in the page HTML folder on the right under lib web page HTML under controllers.
Let me just page HTML, this one. Okay.
Yeah, in this file, so if you look up a little bit, there's that folder that's a sibling. Yeah, right there. So it's called page because of page controller. And there's that home.html.heeks template.
Right.
So this is a lot like HTML. That dot syntax on the first line, that's a functional component in Elixir.
Okay.
So this is going to render an Elixir component. And then there's a whole bunch of SVGs for making it look nice. And then Tailwind is the default now.
Nice.
Making stuff.
Good.
And
this is the data injection, data binding, whatever.
I
guess it's not binding.
Interpolation.
Interpolation, yeah.
Yeah.
This I forgot what this is called.
I don't know. Percent brackets or
EJS
something. It's like ERB.
EJS has some syntax. Okay.
Ruby has the same. Ruby has the same syntax.
Yeah, EJS is basically ERB but written for JavaScript. Let me do this. Okay. And
what's funny is look at this line right
syntax.
here. This is when you're inside of a attribute, it switches to curly braces.
Got it. Oh, so you can switch to curly braces for interpolation. Okay.
Inside of attributes.
Yeah. Right. And then you can do more interpolation. This is string interpolation, basically, I guess.
It is a string interpolation inside of the ERB interpolation.
That makes sense. With JSX, I'm used to like interpolation inside interpolation anyways.
Yeah, everything's interpolated.
Cool. So a bunch of SVGs. And this here, tell me more about this.
So this is a component. This is going to be defined in a file called core components, which is
here.
Yeah, this is just like basic stuff that you need to get going. So modal,
Okay. Oh, so
inputs,
this is calling a
forms.
component from in
Exactly.
here.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And so there, if you look in that file, there'll be something called flash group, and that just holds all the flash messages.
This flash group. What are flash messages? What is
Flash
flash?
messages are messages that only, so it's a kind of a holdover from like the HTTP kind of before everything was a single page app, where it was a
Okay.
message that was put into the session and then
Mhm.
was immediately deleted, so it would only appear on one page.
Huh.
And so it's like a quick message that will go away eventually. Is now what it means.
And like, who is this message for? Like, does the server send it to the client?
It's it's for anything. So
Okay.
if you have, if there's an error on your form, or if something got
Oh, it's like
rejected,
notifications.
it's a notification. Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So actually,
Okay. Got it.
open up your terminal again and kill the server.
Kill the server.
Yeah, one more time. I don't know why you got to do it twice. And then there should be, hop over to here. And
You have to refresh.
No, usually
Didn't pop up.
Usually it pops up right. Oh, if you're in a live view, it'll pop up right away.
That makes sense.
Or
No
maybe
web
it's because
sockets yet.
yeah,
And there's no hot reload. I guess.
because of the iNotify things. In Mac, that happens automatically. That's a Linux thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
you
could
should
install
start
iNotify
using Macs.
tools. Yeah.
How do I install them?
I think it's an apt.
apt.
I think it's an apt. Yeah. Am I gonna get roasted
sudo
for
apt
saying apt? Like you get roasted for saying zish?
install. No, there's not enough people here to do that. I didn't stream for 2 months and then lost my entire streaming momentum. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now if I do this,
Yeah. So
cool.
now if you change text, it should just live update.
Nice. And if I do this, okay, that's fine. That probably needs some sort of WebSocket connection.
I think it's because you can't just see the right side of the page because you have it covered.
There's nothing in here.
Oh, never mind. I forget what I was saying. Usually, if I thought a flash message popped up there saying you got disconnected.
Okay.
But that might just be
probably on a Mac.
Which we'll get it. No, I think it's for a different kind of page.
Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So page HTML.
Yeah. So page HTML, the file is like what you could have if you had another controller. Like let's say you had like an orders controller, or something. You could add in little functions or little components there that maybe you don't want to have a global scope.
Right.
And then you have your templates in the file there. The controller has where your functions are. So
right.
Usually, if you're being RESTful, index, show, update, edit. Nowadays, a lot of people write live views for Phoenix, and so that's
that makes sense.
It's not as applicable now, but it's still there. You say API routes, stuff like that.
What's the use keyword? So I'm familiar with most of the other things.
Okay, so use is a macro. So if you hop over to Judgment New Web, the module,
right?
If you look for underscore using, this use invokes this right here.
Okay, so this is a macro.
And so what it's going to do is you're passing in controller, which is the which. And so apply will run the function. Module is the current module. And so it's going to run the controller function.
It's going to apply the controller function on which is the controller.
Yeah, which you passed in controller, right? That's the argument you passed in. So then it's going to run controller, the function named controller.
Okay.
So if you scroll up a bit, you'll find def controller.
Let me this. Def controller. Oh, there we go.
So it's going to run this function. So quote is some macro stuff, and it's basically going to inject this.
Oh, so this is basically saying run the controller function inside judgment new web.
Yeah, but we're at, well, it's going to call the using macro with controller,
Right.
which then runs that, which then injects that code that you saw into here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to then call another use. It's going to import some stuff, and then verified routes is basically another injection.
Okay, and this is doing the same thing inside Phoenix.controller.
There's going to be a
using
macro, which is going to take these arguments and it's going to do whatever it does.
Formats. Is that a thing in here?
Look for underscore using.
I know that one.
Yeah.
It should. Okay, I don't want to dig into the standard lib.
So you could dive in there. It's doing some macro stuff to set up.
Okay.
Most of the time, you're not going to have to deal with macros.
Yeah. Got it.
But it's
cool. I was just trying to understand
there.
this statement. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool that it's there. That's essentially what it's doing.
Okay. Cool.
It's
how do we
controller helpers? And this is where when you did the flash group, that flash group template, that also gets injected. This is how it's injected.
Okay.
That didn't just come from nowhere. There's no like global imports or anything like that. There's macro magic to make that appear.
Okay. All right. So should we bother with like the non-live view stuff at all, or should we just like go straight into live view? What's the learning curve?
It's not. It's going to be new, but it's how you're going to get the actor model, and it's like what people are writing now. I think the regular controllers, for myself at least, I would only use them if I have like a static site, like maybe with Vite, and I'm using them for API routes.
Right.
If I'm writing Phoenix, and I'm gonna have server side rendered stuff, it's gonna be in live view.
Okay. So yeah, let's just see how far we can get without live view.
With live view.
Is there okay. So let's just do with live view then. Yeah. I don't wanna spend a lot more time. So do I need to install anything for it, or is it built in?
No, it's built in. It's built in now.
It's built in. Okay. Ooh, cool.
So if you run mix help phoenix.gen.live, this is the generator, and the help will just show us the documentation before we run anything.
Phoenix.gen.live.
Yep.
Okay. So these are. So I'm assuming Phoenix.gen is like a general collection of scaffolding tools, and then this is like the live view specific.
Delete the .live and just go to Phoenix.gen and leave the help here, and you could see these are all of the generators, and it kind of shows you what they built.
Right.
So live is the one that built a live view. It's going to build a schema, a migration, a context,
and it doesn't need a controller and view because it's a live view that combines the two.
Exactly. If you're building API routes, you probably do phoenix.gen.json, and then HTML.
Or static sites.
Yeah, if you're
what's context schema? I guess database schema, migrations. What's context?
Context is the
a way to talk to that data.
Yeah. So rather than talking to the schema directly, the context is just like the scope that you'll talk to things through.
Got it. I only know context from DB context and .NET.
I don't know .NET at all, so I'll let that one fly by.
Yeah, they're basically like a schema. There are entities.
It's flying by. It's flying by.
Okay, I think it's the same idea as what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's
cool.
it's like a module. It's a collection of stuff. So like, let's say you had like a Shopify. Let's say you had a store, right? So you might have like the auth context, which holds like the user accounts and your hashed passwords and maybe like your tokens. You know, those would all be under the auth context. And then you might have another context for the store or for the shop, which might have orders and returns and stuff like that. And you might have like an inventory context, which has like warehouse. It's just a way of grouping things.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like a module.
Yeah. It's gonna generate a module
Okay.
with functions to interact with the stuff that you make.
Okay, never mind. Not the same as the context from .NET.
And so if you go back to the gen.live documentation, there are some options here which we don't really need to get into, but the basic command is going to be the one at the top. You specify.
Wait, I should use less.
Yeah, less is more.
Better. Yeah, less is more.
So right at the top, you have that mixed phoenix.gen.live.
Okay.
And then accounts is the context. So that's like the namespace of like where this thing belongs.
Okay.
User is the module that you're making.
Okay.
Users is going to be the name of the database table. And then
the schema.
The schema, the attributes that it's going to have along with the types.
Got it. So create inside accounts. There's a user module which talks to a user schema, and there's the schema. Nice.
The user is the schema, and then the users is just the database table.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I guess that's explained here. Overall, this will add the following file. So there's a context and schema file. There's a show and index live view.
Yep.
And a form.
And then the form component. And then the helpers.
Exciting. And then these are the URLs.
Yeah, and I think it asks you to paste those in to wherever. So whenever
add the live routes in your browser.
Yeah.
Wait. Browser scope. Oh, okay. So there's a browser scope.
That was the middleware I was talking about, the pipeline. Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out. Mix phx.gen.live. Let's say that we are creating, because we are working with hackathons, we want what groups?
Make it. You'll thank me later, but make both of those singular, except for the database table. But yeah.
Yeah. And I want, let's see.
The ID is going to be automatically specified, so you could skip over that.
Okay, let's just give it a name then.
Perfect.
There we go.
So copy this block.
And add it to my router.
Yeah.
Which I cannot spell, apparently.
And I would just drop it right under the page controller home call.
Oh, in here.
Yeah, because this runs through the pipeline browser. So it says pipe through browser.
Pipe through browser. What's pipe through browser?
It's going to run that middleware on line 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this accepts HTML fetch session. Well, how does it accept HTML? Shouldn't it return HTML?
It's like the header. It's like a HTML or the headers.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
going to reject. It's going to reject non-HTML stuff.
Okay. So the get is the method, HTTP method here.
Yeah, live is of course special.
Yeah, it's treated like a method here, but it's
Yeah.
So what are we getting from group live.index?
Yeah.
Group live. Oh, that's a test file. Never mind. Where did it add the groups?
It's gonna group live. Yeah, right there. Index.ex.
Index. All right. So in here, oops. In here, I have mount, handle param, supply action, handle event. There's a delete event in here as well. Nice.
So the documentation does a really good job of explaining this. But here's the life cycle. It's going to go through, or do you want to see how it goes first?
Let's see.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and this was /groups. So if we go to /groups,
you're going to get a little error, but it's a very easy error because if you read it, it's going to tell you what's wrong.
I haven't run migration.
There's a big button that'll help you.
Oh, There's a button. Nice.
Yeah, there's a button.
I guess. Yeah. I did notice that Elixir kind of has a um like there isn't quite a separation between like setup and like runtime code.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Nice. But like I don't have to stop the server, run the migration, and then start the server
No.
again. Like I
Only
usually have to.
you only have to stop the server when you change config or add a dependency.
So new group. Hello world. Ooh. Cool.
Yeah, I'll explain what's going on here.
Go ahead.
Oh, did it save? Sorry, I missed it.
No, I clicked outside.
Oh, okay. There's that flash message that I was talking about earlier. You saw
Mhm.
that pop up. That's coming from that flash group. Yeah. So here's, I guess, the high-level overview of what's happening.
Right.
You have. So let's head out to the live view. And I'll kind of walk through the life cycle as we look at the functions.
This is the live view.
Yeah. So
Okay.
mount is the first thing that's called.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my Discord popped open. And it's actually called twice. It's called once, like when the page is loaded, and then what happens is that a WebSocket connection is created to the server, and then when that socket is connected, it's going to get called again. So that's just kind of a thing that you have to be aware of. It's called twice. The next
so
thing,
it's called once when the page is loaded.
it's called once, like as like part of the rendering step. It's
Right.
okay.
Okay.
Server-side props, or before the page is rendered and sent to the server, it's called.
Right.
And then
this
once
is where it's fetching data.
It's going to fetch the data, so it's SSR, right? I'm trying to use no JS words.
Yeah. No,
or next.
Sure.
Next
Yeah.
word.
Sure.
This is for the SSR. It's connected once for the SSR. Then once the WebSocket connects, it's going to run again for the freshest data.
The hydration.
The hydration, exactly.
Cool.
And then after, nothing else happens on that initial page load. So that's the end of that life cycle. When it's connected, then handle params is called automatically.
Okay.
And so you can see in this case, apply action is called. So socket, actually, I don't really like the word socket here. You can think of it as like state. State, I think, is a better word. And a socket.assigns is like especially state. And so what happens here is that we're going to look at, we're gonna call apply action, passing in whatever the live action is, and params. Live action in this case is going to be index, and it's index because that's what you defined in the router.
Yeah, so that's what runs when I first load the page.
Yeah.
And these are basically the actions that the user can take on the page, and each of them will send an event which will call this specific action.
Yeah.
If I click new group,
you can see the URL. Look at the URL. What happened? Right. There. It added new, and then look at the router. Router for /new has new. That's the live action.
Okay.
So then handle params is called every time the params change. So then it's gonna call mount is only called twice. Handle params every time the params change. It's gonna call the live apply action now with the new live action. Right. And so in this case, it's gonna set the title. If you've noticed, the title in your tab is also changed. So now it says new group. And then it's going to do the assign. So assign will put things in state.
Okay. And this is the key for the state.
And this is the key. So it's going to set the group to whatever the group ID is, like whatever comes back from the database.
Right. And here it's going to just create a new map struct object.
Struct is the word.
Right. Struct. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to create a new group struct. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I um
So let's look
oh, there
at.
we go. That's what I was looking for.
Let's not go there just yet. Let's look at
Okay,
the
let's not go there.
template, which is the file right below.
File right below.
So this is what gets
Ooh,
rendered,
right.
and you can see it's made up of a lot of components.
Mm-hmm.
That comes from the layout, which is I think called app.html. If you want to look at it, it has that boring stuff. That's part of the layout, the Phoenix logo and the GitHub link and all
Right.
that.
It's not in here. That's
That's
fine.
not in
Okay.
here. That's in the layout file. So when you said layout false on the homepage,
Right.
that didn't appear because layout was false.
Got basically like a Nextjs layout.
Yeah. So header here is a component. It's in core components. If you want to,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to look at it, it's fine. It's in core
That's fine.
components.
Yeah,
It's an
I get the
H2 tag,
idea.
I think, or an H1 tag.
Mm-hmm.
It has actions. These are slots, is what they're called.
Right.
So, and in this case, they're named slots.
Mm-hmm.
So you could think of them like a named children if we're in React, but like you could
Wait, so
actually
these are named slots?
actions
Like
is a slot.
actions is a name slot. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's also the kind of the main slot, which is listing groups, right? That's just
Okay.
the child, right? I mean,
Right.
let's actually look at header, I guess, in core components to get a sense of that.
Core components and looking for header. There we
Yeah.
go.
So you can see here we have some definitions above. It takes certain things.
Mm-hmm.
If your Elixir LS is set up right, you'll get errors if these aren't the right types or they're missing if
Right.
they're required or stuff like that. So inner
Mm-hmm.
block in our case is going to be listing groups, right? The literal string listing groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see there's a slot called subtitle and a slot called actions.
Let me see if I can give it a subtitle.
Yeah.
Subtitle like that. And oops.
Copilot's doing its best.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And so that'll appear. Yeah.
It'll appear. Let me try to see subtitle. Oh, right here as a P. So if there's no subtitle, or if the subtitle is not empty, then it's going to render this. Nice. And it's going to run actions inside the flex. Cool. And this is the default thing.
Yeah.
And that's required. We need to provide that, but we can do it without the action as well. Okay. And we can specify class, which is of type string.
Yeah.
That's an atom. That's not a type.
It's a type.
Guess, yeah, that makes sense.
It's a type. Yeah.
What is that? I think saw this here.
Yeah. So that's called a sigil in Elixir.
Okay.
A sigil is a way. It's like a shorthand for a type.
Okay.
So you could do some nifty things with it. In this case, P is a verified route. So
Okay.
if you do a route that's not in your router, it'll error. So if you like type
at compile time.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if your Elixir LS is set up right beforehand, in your editor,
Got
the
it.
H is for an HTML Heeks component.
Okay.
And so
which was we were looking at header.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this is like
This is the sigil. I'm writing a component now.
Got it.
And then everything inside of the delimiters, which in this case is triple quotes. The delimiters, there's like a whole list of things that could be, you could write square brackets if you want. There's a bunch of stuff. It's not important.
Okay, but basically it's it marks the beginning of like, okay, now this is going to be HTML.
This is a Heeks component, yeah.
Right. Okay. Nice. So you do have like UI right inside your language here. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the tooling is pretty good for showing like the syntax highlighting and things like that.
Nice.
It's like switching between Elixir and the Heeks pretty seamlessly.
Nice.
So that's what's going on there. Table is the exact same thing. Don't need to really look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe js.navigate on this line right here on 14. That's a little interesting.
Yeah.
So this is basically, here's the thing about people that write Elixir is they don't really like writing JavaScript.
Yeah.
So there's going
I
to be a big
got that
effort
impression.
to get away from writing JavaScript. And so
Right.
in this case, it's going to do exactly what it sounds like. It's going to navigate. It's going to navigate when you.
So does this like transpile to JavaScript code somehow, or is this Elixir code that will run?
No, it's going to transpile to basically a fancy data attribute on the component, which then there's JavaScript that's already running that will pick up on a click handler.
Got it. Look at that, monads.
What monads?
It's just the similar idea of monads, which is like you have an operation and you encapsulate like into a data structure that can be run by a runtime. That's the idea of monads, right?
Nah.
I don't know. I get super confused by what monads are.
Monads are burritos. That's they implement flat map. That's basically it. If it has flat map, it's a monad.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, we don't need to get into that. So then there's a modal. So if your live action, I'm down on line 33, is new or edit, it's going to pop open this modal. And then there's on modal is the same exact thing. It's in core components. There's an on cancel, prop that it'll take that does that. In which case it will patch, which is like a navigate, but subtly different in ways that we don't have to get into.
Okay.
And then
there's also a push.
Yeah, there's also push. So navigate, well, I think what navigate is like a replace. A push will, go to that. And then a patch is for changing the URL, but you don't want to like reload the entire live view.
Oh, okay.
Essentially what it's doing.
So without patch, it would
rerun the mount and it'll rerun everything.
Got it.
So patch is like saying we're just gonna patch it in here. Don't rerun everything. Like, keep the same life cycle, but change the URL.
Got it.
So subtly different.
So it's like it's change the URL without refreshing. Change the URL with refresh.
Yeah, and the refresh isn't a hard. It's never a hard refresh.
Right.
It's gonna be a soft, WebSocket.
Yeah. I was like conceptually refreshing. I mean.
Yeah.
And there's an underscore ID on each. That
just means that the variable is not used.
Right. Yeah. And now it'll complain if I don't use it.
Yeah, I don't think your editor. Oh, you're not saved. But I think if you save.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think your editor.
It passes. That's fine. Yeah, my editor is not configured
there it goes.
fully.
There it goes. Yeah, there it goes. It's just
nice.
A little slow. I think the WSL makes things a little slow.
Yeah, it's probably a WSL plus streaming.
Yeah.
That makes things slow for sure.
But that's basically it. You have components. Let's actually dive into this modal here. So the modal you see renders a live component.
Okay.
So everything that we've looked at before, the table, the header, those are functional components, and they're distinguished from live components in that they don't have state. Live components have state. Functional components are just, shit goes in, shit comes out. No internals. It's just a pure function.
So this is not a function, not a live component.
This is a live view.
Okay, so there's a difference between live view and live component.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a live component, the live view is like the big thing on the outside, and then you have components or HTML components on the inside. Some of those have state, and they're called live components.
Okay, and if they don't have state, it's just a functional component.
It's just a functional component. And so for a live component, I think there was some Twitter discourse on how there's like one component per file is bad. Live components. Functional components, you saw the file, the core components file. There's probably like 2 or 3 dozen in there. For state, for live components, you don't have to do it one per file, but you do have to do one per module.
Okay.
So you could jam a bunch of modules in here if you want, but
I can create a new model. Yeah.
yeah, people usually stick to the one module per file rule,
Hmm.
which means one component per file.
Yeah.
So this is the form component, and so it has a
Hmm.
render method, a render function, which there's our header again. There's a form.
Hmm.
Um, the Phoenix target, Phoenix change, and Phoenix submit are kind of like the interesting bits here.
Okay.
So Phoenix target myself. So if you didn't have that line, all of the events would go to the
Wait,
parent
where is
uh,
Phoenix target?
on line 18.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
If you did not have this line,
Hmm.
all of the events would go to the parent live view.
Okay.
So when you
Got
say
it.
target myself, it means come to the function, come to me, right? Don't go to
Yeah.
my parent, come to me.
Hmm.
Change happens on every input change, and submit happens when the form is submitted.
So whenever there's change, it
It'll
triggers a validate event,
exactly.
which
It'll
is handled
trigger,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
And so you get the input from the form, which
Hmm.
is under group params.
Group params. Where is
It's
group
just
params?
it's called group because of group params. So group to group params, right there.
Oh, are we renaming it to group params here or for
Uh,
the scope?
you're just binding it to a variable.
Binding it. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not
It's
really a group,
reversed.
right? A group you want to save
Yeah.
for the struct
Oh, it's
itself.
yeah. It's like destructuring. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
sorry. Yeah, the syntax is probably you're destructuring it. Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense. No, I saw this yesterday. I forgot.
So a change set is, I guess it's exactly what it sounds like. You
Hmm.
construct a change set, and then you pass the change set to the database or to the ecto, which is the database library, and then
Right.
it'll execute the change set. So it's a way of like
Oh, nice.
abstracting out the, you know, you don't want to have to go to the database necessarily to like run validations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The change set will do a lot of that. And then if everything validates, it'll send it to the database. Or not, you don't have to send it to the database. In this case, we're not sending it to the database, right? We're just running the change function on it.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, so
and
the change set can be applied to local state, and then also like sent over to the database. The same change
yeah,
set.
when we look at save, that save will go to the database. So
Okay.
for validate, right? It's
Hmm.
just going to run the change function,
There
which
we
will
go.
then put any errors. It'll add errors. So if there's
Hmm.
errors, they'll pop up. And then when you hit the save button, it'll come here. And then if it's an edit, it'll call update. If it's new, it'll call insert. Um, and then you can see there's the notify parent because we want the live view to know that something was saved.
So wait. So what we want the live view to know that something was saved. What is?
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's
Oh,
on
notify parent. Okay.
on line 60.
Oh,
Uh,
does the parent do anything with it?
so
Saved.
yeah, this is under handle info on line
Oh, so
36.
handle info comes. Oh, so this is very strongly defined everything. Look for
Yeah.
the saved from the form component,
Yeah.
and you will receive a group, and then you can do stream insert.
Yeah.
Stream insert is something else that I don't want to get into right now. Okay, cool.
Stream insert's very new, and I'm actually not very familiar with it.
Okay, so
Uh,
we notify this parent to do whatever parent wants to do, and here we're returning no reply.
so no reply here is an actor model thing.
Okay.
It's boilerplate, and you don't really have to worry about it.
Okay.
So what we're
But
returning
flash, yeah.
is the socket,
Mm-hmm.
And we're putting the flash message. That's where that flash comes up again, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
patching to the new URL, and then this gets
Ooh.
returned.
Socket.assigns.patch. What was socket.assigns.patch?
Yeah. So
Oh,
if
that
you
was the where'd it go? It's in the router, right?
no, well,
No.
it's gonna be defined in the router, but if you hop back to save, it's going to uh sockets.assigns. I search for patch in this file. I'm sure it'll come up.
Patch. No, that's it.
What about the parent? What about the index live view?
Not in
Oh,
here.
I wonder
Maybe
if
in here.
it's just some built
Oh,
in.
there we
Oh,
go.
there
It's
it is. Yeah.
okay. So it's so socket.assigns is like props, and
Yeah.
we are
Exactly.
okay. So this is where we are telling the component that um or we are passing the
We're,
input of
we're
slash groups.
passing like the redirect URL basically.
Yeah, and that will that's what the component knows, or that's what the component is expecting, and it'll
Yeah.
redirect to. Okay, cool. And push patch is the way to do that.
Yeah.
So this is the push patch is like the the Elixir version of js.push or
Uh,
js.patch, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Got it.
I thought
All
you
right.
meant
So
the like a React version. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that is in React, but yeah, it's like JS dot
yeah.
on the front
Okay.
end.
So on mount, oh, this is the index. Form component doesn't have an on mount. A
Because
mounts
it's
only live views can be mounted, right?
yeah, these just get rendered.
Okay. So they get rendered, and it's kind of like um, a React component with a render function. Update is
So update
I
is
mean, we're
part of like
defining update. Yeah.
it's a life cycle thing. It
Oh.
happens. It's part of the life cycle. It happens. It's gonna happen like when it's created, and then it
Hmm.
happens on certain other. I think when like the props change,
Okay.
basically, it's
It's a use effect.
yeah use effect or like just yeah create effect if you're in
Equals. What's the, and this hackathon is coming from the scope,
this is
I
the
believe.
context.
The context, yeah, the
Yeah,
scope, and this has the kind of the CRUD function. So this is where my logic would go.
yeah. So this is the CRUD functions. In this
Hmm.
particular case, for change, it's calling group, which is the schema, and it's
Hmm.
calling the change set function on that. And we can look at that because that's
Right.
actually kind of interesting. Um, so this happens to be where on line 5, the
Hmm.
database is defined, like
Right.
the schema is defined.
Hmm.
And then on line 12, timestamps is just inserted at and updated at.
Okay.
It's a macro for inserting
Hmm.
those. And then on line 12, this is the change set. And so this is where we say, hey, you have to pass in a name. So if you hit save group without putting in a name,
Hmm.
you should get an error, can't be blank. And that's coming from
Yeah.
this. I think validate required takes a message param. So if you type in, yeah, you can see keyword is the
Get
type.
examples. There we go.
So you could pass in, you could do multiples at once. Yeah, message. So if you do after the closing bracket around name,
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Yeah. So we can
yeah,
say message here.
I think you need to do
Group must have a name.
message colon.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and that's what it's telling you. It's telling you
So I need that.
that exactly. Yep. And now that you've saved that, you gotta probably not refresh it, but you gotta get it to retrigger. So type something. Oh, refreshing also works.
Please fill
Exactly.
out this field. Okay. That's what we mentioned here.
So if
Oh,
you're coming from Nextjs or React, this is probably like kind of. I mean, it's all bits mixed around, but like form validations. But
it's
it's
pretty
not a
nice.
form because it's not just a form. If you're doing backend stuff, it
Mm-hmm.
also goes through here.
Right.
Um, and so basically, all the changes to the database could get whittled down
Mm-hmm.
into a change set. And there's a whole bunch of functions on them that you could run.
Yeah. No, I like this pattern so much more.
Yeah, it's a nice, and it's all functional, right? It's all pipelines. You
Mm-hmm.
see, take the group, pass
Yeah.
in a change set with some adders, run update function.
So
It's a very nice pipeline.
this, yeah, this is like repo.update, and inside here there's group.changeset attrs, and then what group, something like this is what it ends up being, but this makes more sense.
Yeah, your parentheses are a little off, but yeah, I think you got it. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
it goes in here.
and then the same thing for the other one, but yeah, that's exactly it.
That's
That's
fine. Yeah.
exactly it. It's a way of, you don't have to write these like nested stuff.
Hmm.
It's just a
Yeah.
pipeline. Elixir has like a really good. So there's a couple of like not type level stuff, but like patterns, I guess is the way of describing it.
Okay.
One is that like when you have a module that's a type, it always
Hmm.
returns like that type. And so that makes pipelining things very easily, because when you call map.put on line 48,
Right.
you're going to get a map back. Not that you have to, or that there's a type error thing if you don't. It's just a
Hmm.
convention that,
Right. Yeah.
you're going to do it. Change set and group kind of breaks that, because change set will return a change set, but
Hmm.
the general pattern is to return the type of that,
Right.
and then the first argument is usually of that type.
Hmm. Okay, so I do want to spend the next 15 minutes that you have building something.
Yeah,
Can I do new scaffolds while this is running, or do I have to quit it?
yeah. Just open up a new terminal and
Okay. So I wanna, let's see. We had. Give me a second. Yeah. I wanted to generate just a live view, which means. Oh, but this will generate everything.
so you could
I guess I can
reuse.
just create a live view.
Yeah, you could just create a live view.
Mhm.
If you don't want a database stuff,
And it has to be inside live, right?
it doesn't have to be. Uh,
Oh,
it's a
it doesn't.
convention.
It's a convention. Yeah.
It's a convention. I would
So
stick to the
we're gonna
conventions.
call convention has to be.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna break convention on my first day. Let's call this submissions underscore live. Are these underscore controller or underscore HTML? Okay.
Controllers, yeah, they're
And underscore. Okay. So underscore live is also convention, or is that just a thing?
yeah.
It's inside the live folder. Why? Okay, sure.
It's convention. You could break it. I said you could break it if you want to.
Yeah,
What Elixir cares about isn't what the file is called, but what the module is named.
that's fair. Yeah.
And
that's
it
true.
doesn't even care that it
Most languages are actually like that.
Yeah, most
JavaScript is the
languages
weird one.
It's not even JavaScript. It's the frameworks around JavaScript. But yeah.
Yeah, but no, like in JavaScript, you have to import like specific files and then like tree shake
That's
them.
That's true.
I guess it's a client-side language, so it has to be.
That's true.
So that's not my module name. I'm sorry.
No, Copilot.
It's submissions live. I cannot spell.
Yep.
Like that. Yep. And dot index. Do end. Cool.
And then you want to use up top
Use
to
this?
import. Yeah, this will
Okay.
inject all of your nice functions and give the behaviors.
Let's do the HTML. So okay, we just need index.html.heeks. And in here, let me just not G1 submissions, and give me 1 second. I'm getting some Slack messages.
Oh no.
Yeah. There's Some there are some breaking things here, and apparently Friday evening is not the best time for me to stream. Probably so. Yeah.
It's trouble at Clark.
E- kind of.
Oh no.
Not is. This is used for. Oh, right. Okay. Um. Yeah. All good. I think we have still a bit of time.
Okay.
So we have the index here. Do I
So
need to do anything in here to
yes, you need to define the mount function.
the mount function? Def mount.
Yep. And this takes exactly that, and you just need to return OK socket.
Oh,
Return.
okay. Like that.
No. Sorry. So
Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And all of that.
You
Plus
just
submissions.
you
No.
just need the socket. Just the socket. No stream.
So
Either.
that.
No stream.
No stream either.
No stream.
What does stream do? Is it is it
Stream
just a
is
fancy
for
pipe?
no stream is for dealing with multiples of things. So in this case, it's
Multiple of
dealing
things,
for
okay.
multiple groups. So it's for dealing with a lot of groups.
Okay.
And it's like has a lot of server side and client side optimizations built in, so you're not holding the whole thing in memory.
Got it.
Okay, and then you also want to go to your router and add a route.
Go to my router, and I can do live. Let's do some. Let's actually remove this and do that. That's not the one. Group live. This should be called submissions live. Yeah. Dot index and index.
Yep. And now if you go there, it should, if I'm not, is undefined.
Probably need to define some.
You probably have a typo.
In here?
Use Judgment Web Live View. Yeah, it wasn't saved. You got to turn on autosave.
Oh. I almost never use autosave.
Then you got to save. Did it? Is
Okay.
it? Is this the same error? Or is it still going?
Still same issue. Submissions live dot index is not available. Did I? No. Do I have to specify this index somewhere?
No, but try deleting.
Oh, I need impl.
You don't need it.
I don't need it.
No.
Okay.
What else is up? What else is on this file? Alias.
In this file, handle info, handle event. Do I need? Does it automatically know where to pick up my template from?
Yeah, it should. Because it's called sub. Actually, I lied. The name does matter. Because that's where it looks. That's how it looks for the template.
Yeah.
Submissions.
So there is files.
I think it has to do with your pluralization of things. I think you called it submissions folder there.
Oh.
And did you call it submission elsewhere?
No, it's called submissions everywhere.
What about in the router?
And the router is submissions live.
Okay, we'll try restarting the server and see if that fixes it. That's always like the
turn it off and on again.
Turn it off and on again. I didn't think you shouldn't have had to. I don't think this will fix it, but yeah.
Okay, let's just put it on a different route for now then.
No. That's not the problem. That's not the problem.
I just saw that I have the route back.
Is try just humor me and singularize everything.
Okay.
And if this matters, no, sorry, stop. Delete the alias.
Oh.
What's happening is so inside of the scope function on line 17,
Mm-hmm.
there's like magic, and it's like aliasing it for you.
Okay.
So when you aliased it above, which the editor did for you automatically,
Mm-hmm.
it like got really confused as to which one you meant.
Got it.
I see that a lot because my editor does that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have thought I would have caught it faster by now, but I didn't.
All right. So let me try to create a form in here. I guess I'm using
Yeah, dot simple form.
not the dot simple form. Dot
Uh,
simple form.
I think it's gonna be an underscore.
And that.
And it takes a dot inputs.
Dot input, or is it scoped?
No, it's a dot.
Okay.
I would
That's
look at a form component and copy it. I think
yeah.
it's just a dot.
Simple form.
Yeah, so form 4.
I'll look at this one. Right. Can I move you? Thank you. And here I can do dot input.
Yeah.
Looks like there is an add form in the state
that's
here.
Gonna be from the assigns. I think for now, just call the field whatever you want to call it as a string.
Okay, what do we need for these? Number of some.
No, do it as like not
interpolated.
No, just do it like number, like whatever the attribute you want.
Okay. A number.
Not a label. That's not a label. Yeah, number. No, like a string. Number underscore of underscore submissions.
Oh, okay.
Like if you were gonna
submissions.
Do it. Yeah,
okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a label attribute if you want to pass that in
Mm-hmm.
to be more human readable.
Yeah.
Yeah. This probably will not work when you save it because it's going to tell you need form 4. For now, just pass in any atom. An atom is a word with a colon in front of it. Yeah, that's fine. That should work. And then it's probably get mad at you that it doesn't have an ID.
Name not found in. Yeah. Wait, what's key name? Where is it looking for name?
It's probably inside of simple form.
Okay. Okay, so how do I create an at form?
So an at form is going to be on the socket assigns.
In here. Okay.
So you want to instead of socket right there, you want to say assign socket.
Let me have some examples up here.
Yeah, so
like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
You can pipe it in too if you want, right? But yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If you look on form component, it probably will show you how to create the form.
In a form, I have this open already.
Look in the update function.
Okay. Assigns.
And then, assigns here is, but skip that. Go to
we don't have that.
Go to the assign form function.
Assign form, and I pass it in. This is passing in a change set, but yeah. I'm just mounting here.
All right, let's skip the simple form because the simple form has a lot of stuff baked in.
Okay.
But let's just do a regular. Just make a form. It should probably work.
I mean, it'll show up, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and now add in a see a Phoenix target. See a Phoenix. You don't need Phoenix target. That won't work because that's not HTML.
Not.
You could add a label tag.
Yeah. No, I'm just adding it in there. Oh, wait, never mind. No, I wanted to do placeholder.
Yeah. Oh, placeholder. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the form, add Phoenix change equals validate or whatever you want to call. If you want validation to run, what are you trying to do? I guess is maybe.
No validation. I just want to submit this form and receive it like on my server.
Okay. Phoenix submit equals whatever event you want.
Phoenix, like, do I PHX or?
Yeah, like on line 20 on the other side.
Oh, okay. PHX submit, and let's call it submit.
And then yeah, just add in a button and Copilot. Wow.
Do you not use Copilot?
No, I do. I'm just always impressed.
Got it.
I try to have the childlike wonder. I don't want to
nice.
that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Give it just a little bit of styling, so that because I want to show off how fast Tailwind is.
No class name.
Oh, I typed it here correctly. Yeah, React Brain. I typed it here correctly, but then, yeah. Let's do that. Border rounded. Sure, that works. Okay, so when we submit, when the form is submitted, it calls submit, which now I have to handle on my not where did it
see
go?
if real quick before we go down this rabbit hole,
right?
Look at the server logs and click the button. Oh, assign form. Yeah, I was going to mention this. You did this assign form thing that doesn't actually exist.
Okay.
Look on the right side.
The right side.
Assign form had. Oh, never mind. You deleted that. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, forget what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, click the button. Yeah. Okay. So what this is telling you is handle event is undefined or private.
I don't have handle event in here.
Exactly.
Def handle event. There we go. Event, unsigned params, and socket. Okay, let's see what I can do with handle event. So I overload it that I want submit.
Yep.
Right. And the params, I'm going to see what the params are in a second.
Yep.
But basically, okay. Can I print it here now?
Type a DBG.
DBG?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly like that. And then you can pipe in unsigned params into there. You don't even need that.
Pipe in.
Just do the not. Sorry, put it inside the parentheses. Just unsigned params. Yeah.
Let's do. Actually, give me a second. I want to change this to number. Okay. So if I do 50 or 560, do I need to run that like a debugger separately?
No, just scroll above the error.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's right there. It didn't come through. I think because the input doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
I think you need to give the input component input tag.
I mean, we did. The input
tag? Like literally, yeah, in the tag.
Oh wait, where did it go? Yeah, I just kind of lost the file. Sorry.
Yeah, give it name equals.
Name whatever. Equals steps. Do I? Does it automatically know to take the form data and plug it in there?
I think so. I usually, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice. Okay, cool. But I want this as a number.
That's something that Ecto will normally do for you. In this case, we'll just have to. We'll transform it into a number.
Okay. So let's say number of subs.
Like camel casing.
Not like that.
No, that's fine. You can do it. You could do it. You could do it. You could do it.
Like, okay. So what's the better way to do it? What's the more appropriate way to do it?
Snake casing is the. Is the
Oh, okay. So variable naming. Okay. Yeah, I should have realized.
React
But
brain. Okay.
subs. I mean,
And
hey, Pascal case, or I guess Camel case is like
here,
not
actually,
React specific.
do this. Do this. Do this. Clear the line and
Clear the line.
type in percent open squiggly quote subs after yep, and then equals exactly that, exactly what Copilot has.
Okay,
So
but
this
that
is a
gives me
pattern.
the string.
This will pattern match
Yeah.
out as the string, and then you could say string dot to integer probably.
Subs dot.
No string.
String.
Capital S string. Yeah, so in Elixir, pretty much everything is module,
Yep.
function, arguments.
Horrible variable naming here,
There you go.
but that gives me the number, I guess. Okay. Cool. In that case, let's add a few more things in here. So I have a number of submissions. Let's do a number of judges. Let's what else do I need? I need let Copilot generate some stuff. I need total judges. Is it judges per group? Judges per group and groups per project. I need a couple things in here. Okay. I should have like my other code already pulled up here so that I can do a reference implementation. How much time do you have? 6:53.
Let me text the missus.
Okay. And let me check my Slack by till then.
I sent off a text message. I would say at least 10 minutes, but probably like half an hour.
Okay. Half an hour?
Hold on.
You said?
I see the dots.
Okay, I see that.
At least 10 minutes I could give you, but probably more.
Okay.
Yeah, we could go for a while.
Give me just 1 second. Let me pull something up on the side here. GitHub. I want to go here. I want to go here. What am I in here? Util. Okay, there we go. So it's groups per number of groups. What? We want groups per project. Per project. And I want judges per group. Judges per group. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So this is kind of like the configuration that we use to do assignments that I told you about yesterday.
Yeah.
So basically the
live uploading. Live uploading.
Yeah, I did. It's pretty nice. Yeah. So basically what I need to do now, let's do it here. Do I add a semicolon or colon?
Comma.
To do more thing, comma. I have judges. I have, let me copy this from here and do this. Oops. That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, who needs
Multi-cursor?
Vim when you have multi-cursor and VS Code?
Exactly. Okay. So now, obviously, these are unused.
Yeah.
But now I basically need to create a certain number of groups.
So there's actually
And
some really cool stuff in the standard library for this kind of stuff. I'm not exactly sure what you're going for, but I know that there's going to be something really cool in the standard library. It's going to do it.
Okay. So basically, let's say that I have 20 submissions. I have, let's say, 6 judges.
Okay.
I want to say 3 groups per project and 3 judges per group. So now I have 6 judges and 3 judges per group. That means I have 2 groups. Right.
Okay.
And now each. Actually, this is not possible then because we can only have 2. And each project will be in 2 groups, which means basically every project will go to every group for in this configuration. But let's say I had 12 judges. Now I have 4 groups. But each
4 groups because there's 12 judges and there's 3 judges per group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll have to put but then like 10 submissions. Let's do it here. So total groups equals I need to do string to integer on each of these. But basically total groups is this divided by this, right? So string to integer judges divided by, that's how you do division? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So that's the total number of groups, which I have 4 here.
That'll give you a float. If you don't want to float, do div and then as a function, and then the comma separated.
A function div, like div.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there we go.
That'll give you an integer. The other one will give you a float.
So will it give me the lower integer or the ceiling integer? I want the ceiling.
Oh.
Like let's say I have 13 judges. That means I have 5 groups now.
I gotcha. So in that case, keep it as a float and then pass it into like math dot or float dot. What's the function? Is it seal?
Elixir ceiling.
Yeah, float dot seal.
Okay, so I can do float dot seal.
Yeah, put that in parentheses. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't like this. Is this a new line? Can I like somehow add this in here?
Let's do this. I think I get what you're trying to do. I know you can't do functions on the left side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Let's take unsigned params. Let's go to the top of this line. And let's do enum.map. So right on the next line. No.
In the next line?
First line of the function, yeah. enum.map. So we're gonna map over every do this. So it's IOInspect is like a print. So let's delete that bit. So we have each map and we have the key and the value. And we're gonna return a tuple. So a tuple is 2 curly braces.
Right.
And we're gonna
return.
No, just one.
Just one. Okay.
So the key we're gonna leave unchanged.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put K in there. And then
and I can do this.
Just string that. Yeah, perfect. And if you want to do, okay, that's exactly it. Now take all of this exactly that.
Nice. Perfect. Why is this still on a new line? Okay, thank you.
If you want, you can run mix format, and that'll run the built-in formatter in your terminal.
Are you complaining about the line 14? Oh.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. So if you have another terminal open,
No, I think it was just missing that because of the error.
yeah.
I guess it still didn't go in the same line, but
Oh,
there's some formatting. There's some
got it.
formatting in VS Code, so that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
Okay, so if I know the total groups, now I can figure out. Let's again go back to 20 submissions, 12 judges, 2 groups per project, and 3 judges per group. That means if I have 4 groups, that means each group should get 10 submissions, right? 20, 30, yeah. So submissions per group. Oh, subs. How many submissions divided by total groups? I need to multiply this by groups per project, and that will give me the submission per group. Okay, let's see. Let's say now I want to display this stuff on my page once I submit this.
Okay. So what we want to do is let's return. So return is just the last line.
Right.
So open up another tuple. That the first one is going to be a no reply.
No reply.
Again, no reply is boilerplate, and then we're
Right.
going to assign, and then just do socket as the first one, and then let's do submissions per group colon. Yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
And then if you want anything else in the thing, let's you can put it in there in the same manner.
Okay. I'll just do both of these.
So this will put it into state, and so now we just want to render that state. Now, what I would recommend doing is on the mount function, assigning it with some default value.
Right. Okay. In the socket. Similar
just
to
like
this.
that. Just like that. Assign socket.
Right.
Default values.
I do nil.
Nil. Yeah.
What's it complaining about now? No local return.
So something is crash. Something is going to crash.
Compile time safety is so fun.
You know, it's hit the button, see what happens. I don't know.
Hang in there while we get back on track. Oh, it fails because it's an empty string, or it's like there's no value in here, so I need validation. That's fine. I'll skip that for now. 12 groups per project.
Again, this if you were using a change set, no match. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one last step. So after your map, and now it's a list of tuples, and so just pipe into it right after that last parentheses. Pipe that into enum.into, or map.new is probably fine too. Map.new is fine.
Map.new.
Yeah.
Also, it takes the key value pairs and converts it back into a map.
And so we can pattern match it out because when you did the map, it turned it into a list. And the compiler, it's smart. It was it picked up on that.
And now it's fine.
Don't expect TypeScript. It's like not that good.
Oh no, I was expecting something better than TypeScript. Now you're telling me it's not that good.
You have to do Rust if you want that. Oh, it's already an integer, so you're calling 2-integer on line 16 again that you don't need to do.
Oh. Rid of that then, and can just use this here. All right, so 20, 12, 2, and 3. Okay, nice. So no errors now, and these have now been set, which means I can go in here.
Yeah.
And I can
use the percentage signs.
Percentage. How do I do an if? Let's just do a diff.
So okay, this is actually going to be kind of. I think this will work. Do a colon right now. If. I think this works. This is like newest syntax equals.
Okay.
And then curly braces, your condition. So
and
in this case,
condition
at you just do @ submissions per group,
At?
Yeah, at is the way
Okay.
that gets translated.
Okay.
And then maybe an ampersand, whatever the other one was called.
Groups. Okay. And does it automatically evaluate to false if like the values are not there?
Yeah, nil is falsy. So.
Okay.
And then
Cool.
whatever you want. And I know this works for functional components. I think it'll work on a div too. So
Okay.
node done.
Yep.
Yeah. And
it does reset everything, which
that's an HTML thing because of the submit.
Oh, is it not going over WebSocket?
No, it is, but the type. Get rid of the type equals. Do you want the type equals submit? Do this instead. Instead of Phoenix submit and the form tag, get rid of the button type. Yeah, delete that.
Oh.
And change it to Phoenix. No, sorry. Just delete the type. And change it to Phoenix dash click equals submit.
Phoenix dash click equals submit.
And then delete Phoenix submit from line 7 up there. I think this will do what we want. It's doing what exactly.
Will it have params? Or will it have params?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh no, it won't because it's not on the form. I think you're right. No, I think you're right.
Yeah, it doesn't have.
It didn't pass it in. No, you're right. So I think this is like
That's
why.
fine. It's fine. Yeah, I know. I'll simple form.
Simple form, change sets. All of this stuff is like built in.
Percent equals. Was it?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
And in here, I just do this. Or do I need an at?
Yeah, you need the at in front of it.
Okay. I'll always need an at. Okay. 12. Oh no, it was 20, 12, 3 and 2. 2 and 3. Yeah, 10.0. 1. Let's float that. Which one is it? Submissions per group.
If you want it to be an
ceiling here.
You could pipe that into trunk, TRUNK, and that will turn it back into an integer.
Got it. Okay, this is what I needed the formatter for. There we go. Okay, it's doing something. Cool. 12, 2, and 3, and now my cat is here. Okay, cool.
But how nice is that pipe operator, right? It's like you don't have to.
I want to truncate it now. I'm really hoping it gggets into JavaScript, ECMA.
Oh yeah, it's in there.
They're working on it.
I mean, even if it gets accepted and then it's in TypeScript and a compiler, it's a compile time trick. It's not anything on the runtime.
Yeah. I mean, it's a syntax sugar. It's like async await.
Yeah.
That just like it can compile down to promise.then.
And then you probably also want to trunk on total groups as well.
That's fine.
And yeah.
All right. Yeah, definitely need to do a retake on this as well, because if I only do new frameworks every episode, I'll definitely run out of frameworks. So
I don't know. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, probably. Have you done HTMX
popular
yet?
frameworks. I was actually like circulating between HTMX and LiveView and maybe Solid Start this week.
I was playing around with Solid Start. HTMX, I think, will pair very well with any of these like server-side rendered languages because you just ship the whole thing down, and it's in the HTML. So
yeah, I'm actually hoping that's what React Server Components end up being. That because like again, obviously right now it's coupled to Nextjs because they're the only ones implementing it.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is that like server components as a library should be pluggable into any any backend framework.
What would be really cool? So this is how LiveView works, right? Is it establishes a WebSocket connection?
Yeah.
And then it could calculate where the static parts of your HTML are and where
Mhm.
the dynamic parts are, and it like
Oh.
knows so you have the whole string, and it basically says at this character,
Mhm.
like it's dynamic. Do you have time? We could look at the WebSocket if you want, real
Sure. I
quickly.
mean, look at like you mean look at the code?
Like look at the network tab.
Oh, network tab. Okay. Yeah. I would love to.
Because this is what I would love to see like server components do is like work over WebSockets. So in the network tab, um, yeah, hit that old refresh button
Hit
first,
refresh.
and let's find the
Okay.
WebSocket. So if you click WS there, one of these is for the live reloading.
Mhm.
That's for the live reloading. This is the one. So look at messages, and so you'll occasionally see a heartbeat
Mhm. There's always
come
a
by.
heartbeat.
Hopefully. So if you look at the first message,
Yeah.
I think it's in here.
Yeah. So it's basically like sending the entire state.
Yeah, send it. Open that up. Yeah, so you could see where here's the static bits,
Mhm.
and then I think there's some. This might not even. Yeah.
Wait, that looks like a token of some sort.
Wait, look at the other one. Is it the other one? The other WebSocket? No, sorry, on the left of the left-ward tab.
All right, this is
Yeah. Oh, that's a live
join
reload.
reply.
Yeah, so this is for the reloading.
Okay.
And so there's probably and then look at the response, which is the second one.
Yeah, the response was
It
rendered
rendered. Yeah, open
this
that up.
image.
Open it up. Yeah, keep opening
Oh,
it,
it's
and
okay.
then
So rendered a bunch
it's
of
like
things. Okay,
a
that makes
really
sense.
really cool data
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
And
I
you can see
mean, yeah,
there's the whole
most libraries work
HTML,
like that.
in there. Now submit your form and then look at that response.
2012 to 3. Okay, so this is sent form
That's the
event submit.
sent. Yep, and
Mm-hmm.
there's the values there. And then the response that you get back has an okay.
It's the diff, yeah.
And it says like here exactly is like where it is, and it's like put in the div, put in this thing. It's like very focused of like exactly what to update. And so
Instead of sending the entire live view.
yeah, it's like it's a very narrow change. And then morph DOM is the library on the client side that updates the DOM.
Yeah, Blazor works similarly, and I guess live view.
Yeah, so that's the WebSocket connection has a lot of niceties, right? You don't have to do the whole handshake, except at the beginning. You do one handshake, and so you're gonna get like really fast, requests and responses. The updating is gonna be really fast.
Yeah, but the reason you won't see this in React because you don't need WebSockets to do this in React, right?
Well, you have to do if you're changing something from the server. That's going to be a whole AJAX, like a whole HTTP call, and it's going to come back with all the handshakes and everything that goes with it. It's not a whole page refresh, but it's a whole fetch.
It's a whole fetch, but like you're already fetching a giant JSON blob from the server anyways, so.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You could just the narrow, focused, precision, signal-like.
I honestly, I thought about it, but like I don't really see a point in doing that. Like I don't think there would.
No.
Like it feels nice, but like there's a like it's very much at the point of diminishing returns at that point. Like you would reduce the JSON size by maybe half, and it's not that big to start with.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're sending.
Also, like there's no state on the server side. Like server components don't have state.
Yeah, right. That's the key. That's like what makes live view and why it's like special is that you could have state on the server, and because it's a WebSocket, you could push to the client without needing a request first. And so I sent you the video of the Twitter clone in 15 minutes, and he goes through
Okay.
this, and at the end, he updates things in one tab,
Mm-hmm.
and the other tab automatically updates. And you don't need a fetch, you don't need polling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just listening on the WebSocket, and when you receive an event, it goes into the handle event function. And
Wait, so state is shared between tabs?
no, it's not. It's not. But when you make,
Hmm.
you could send messages.
Okay. Okay.
And so if you have, let's say,
Right. Mm-hmm.
when when you mount on mount, a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
common pattern is you'll join a list of subscribers, and then whenever you save, you'll publish to
Mm-hmm.
that list of subscribers, hey, something changed,
Mm-hmm.
either go refetch or here's the diff or whatever you want, right? You pass
Yeah.
in whatever you want. And
Yeah.
then all of the live views, which is
Mm-hmm.
each tab is its own live view, its own instance,
Right.
if you will
Mm-hmm.
receive that message because they've subscribed when they mounted,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll execute whatever that callback, whatever that function is,
Mm-hmm.
which is to refetch and then re-render, or just take the diff and do whatever you want. But you
Yeah.
could do that without polling,
Mm-hmm.
and without the whole fetch, any
For sure.
user
Yeah.
side action, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nextjs doesn't have like real-time patterns. Like it's mostly based around stateless, which is why like we probably won't see that anytime soon.
No,
But
you won't. Not in
yeah,
Nextjs, not in
but
serverless land.
definitely hoping that we get some like
Um,
stateful server real-time stuff with React server components.
yeah, maybe. There's some things you could do. There's like push. You could hack around
Mm-hmm.
it with pusher and fetching on stuff like that.
Yeah. Like maybe once we have better like Vite RSC setups existing, I'll play around with it and see if we
Yeah.
can do something.
Bun also might make things interesting too, because it's built on, I don't know.
Wait,
I
what
feel
is
like
that?
Bun,
Bun. Okay, yeah.
because I think a lot of, I mean, I this is now getting philosophical and stuff, but I think a lot of the reason why JavaScript moved towards serverless is because performance is so bad, right? It's like, well, like we can only handle so many, hundreds of requests a second. So let's
I
just
don't
make
think
everything
so.
serverless, and let's do, have it scale however we want. Whereas an
I
Elixir
don't think
box
so.
could
Cold
handle,
starts had like the cold start problem like is mainly a big problem because of how slow JavaScript is to start up. So I don't think like
yeah, no, that might be right.
I think it's mostly the like the entry curve.
Scale to 0. It's like,
The scale to zero, like how
yeah,
easy it is to get up and running with both JavaScript and with serverless, and I
I
guess
don't
like
have
building web apps
any,
was
I don't have any users, so let's scale to 0.
maybe. But like
Um,
scale to zero is like just a small part of it. Scale to zero is basically just a demonstration of hey, this is pay as you go, or like pay as much as you use.
yeah.
Like scale to zero in itself is not a feature. Like I don't care about scaling to zero. I care about paying whatever I'm using, and not more,
Um,
not less.
if you have 5 minutes, I think we could get this on the internet in 5 minutes if you want to give it a shot, or do you want to call it here?
It's running a SQLite database. We'll have to do like database setup as well.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right, you're right, you're right, you're right.
that's fine.
Never
Well,
mind.
again, we'll do a double take, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll do a bunch more takes.
Yeah, anytime. I love Phoenix.
Was
I do.
that?
I love TypeScript too. I think.
Oh, there we go. Does Joe have a YouTube channel?
Do I have a YouTube channel? Who's asking this?
In the chat?
I don't see a chat.
Click on comments in StreamYard. You might be on private chat.
Oh, comments. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize this. Oh, this is from YouTube.
It's on both YouTube and Twitch.
I don't have a YouTube channel. People tell me that I should.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I mean, if you're doing consultancy, it will help.
I don't have any followers. Yeah. Who's this? And Mzerone.
I had no followers like a year ago. Okay,
That's
so
true.
having no followers is not an excuse.
I'll build a following. I need someone to like talk to though. If I don't have someone to talk to, I just like meander and.
So you cannot stream alone.
Stay focused. If someone wants to be my buddy and like Dax and Adam or something and do it,
Right.
I'd love to do it. but yeah, my brain is just gonna wander and go down rabbit holes if I have someone there.
That's the best thing for Twitch streams, honestly. That's how Twitch streams work. Have you watched a Mizkif stream?
A what? What?
Mizkif? He's a
No.
pretty big Twitch streamer. Like
No.
he's basically like the definition of the ADHD like Twitch streamer, where like it just randomly goes off topics, and it keeps the chat really engaged. Actually,
I guess
if
like
you keep
Prime,
meandering.
Prime is like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually a good quality to have for Twitch.
I tune into Prime and it's like and then it's like so much chaos, and then it's also at it's always at like 10 in the morning when I'm like should be working, and it's like I can't like work and
focus.
follow Prime at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm happy that he's streaming in evenings now.
I know it's like a little too late for me though. It's like there's no good time, there's no good time. It's hard.
Cool.
No, I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have a stream. I do have a Twitch account. Maybe I'll start streaming on Twitch. We'll see. I'll try this 5 p.m. Friday slot. No, I won't.
Hey, I'm not the one you need to be concerned about. This is Ryan Carniado's slot.
I know he didn't. Yeah, I was. Oh, he's still going, is he? Oh,
probably.
Wow.
Yeah, last week was an unusually short stream for him.
Yeah, he goes for a long time too.
I think we can just make it in just in time for This Week in JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
Unless he's like halfway through it.
No, I gotta go have dinner.
All right.
But this was fun.
If he's still going, I'm gonna raid him with 3 people.
I'm one of those people. I'll raid along with him.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, This Week in JavaScript. He's talking about Prisma. Oh no.
Well, they had the whole Prisma 5 release, and then Prime. There was a whole article that Prime reacted to about how never to use Prisma.
Yeah, everyone's talking about Prisma.
So Prisma, Prisma.
Everyone's roasting Prisma
in the discourse now. Yeah. Sounds fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for showing me the ropes.
Hopefully it was a gentle introduction.
Definitely was, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Phoenix and Elixir for sure. But it's a great language, and once you get the hang of it, you can do some really cool stuff. We haven't even done like concurrency or parallel. There's like a whole world you can go down.
We'll go down those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Soon. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
See ya.
All right, chat. We are going to raid Ryan Solid. Thank you very much for showing up. And I'll hopefully stream tomorrow or Sunday. I'm definitely streaming one of those 2 days because I need to catch up on Server Espresso. Cool. Bye-bye.